Hi, I'm Rita Crandall and this is VBITE. And today I was doing some research to find out if there's anything in the making for a True Blood spinoff or a film. And I found several sources that said that Stephen Moyer was interviewed, and this was in January of 2014, and they asked him, what are you going to be doing in the summer of 2015? And he said, well, if things go well in the summer of 2015, we'll all have something to watch in the summer of 2016. And everyone believes that that's referring to a film. So keep your fingers crossed, because I sure would like to see just a little bit more of what's going on. Now, of course, he wouldn't be a part of it, so maybe, he didn't know. Obviously, he didn't know that. Anyway, tonight I want to talk a little bit about New Orleans Voodoo again. We've talked about this before, but I wanted to show you our beautiful voodoo dolls. And these are created just for us here by voodoo priestess Madame Deliche. Let's see if I can get this one. This one's really pretty cool. So there's a lot of Haitian influence in New Orleans voodoo, obviously. But New Orleans voodoo is a bit different, and here in America, we are told that we can live the American dream, that everything is based on, even if you come from nothing, you can prevail and you can make yourself whoever you are. And family isn't as much of a pronounced impact, I think, as it is in Congo culture. So that being said, our voodoo dolls are made a little bit differently too than they would be in Africa. And so ours are made the traditional way, though. Actually, our priestess goes out to the swamps, gets the Spanish moss and cypress branches, and wraps them with herbs that relate to whatever color that the voodoo doll is. So each color means something specific. Black, for instance, which is actually thought of as also being able to be used in black magic. But really, it's a very powerful color for ending things like bad habits. If you want to quit smoking, it's a great doll to use. Ending relationships, moving on, just with ending, anything that you need to have closure to, and then you can move on to a whole different color. But it's a good way to end things. So you also use pins for different things. So say you want to end gambling problems. A good way to do that would be to get a black voodoo doll, use a green pin, and even a little piece of money attached to the green pin. You want to attach something of yourself, a piece of hair, a nail clipping, and then you want to use that doll as much as you need to, really. Really, the imagination is what's necessary in using voodoo. The possibilities are endless. So when you get a craving to play poker, for instance, is when you would use that doll the most, and you would put a pin in it with the money to symbolize, no, this is the end of this, right? Maybe a green and a black pin. And then you would just meditate a little bit about that and move on. And then eventually you would move on to a different color doll, like something that would be orange for success, to have proved to yourself that you've gotten rid of that habit. So there's more. I'm going to put a lot on my website because I'm getting more and more involved in it and interested and better at it. But I mentioned this book before, and if you don't have it, I highly, highly recommend it, because it's a really nice history of New Orleans, even if you aren't into voodoo, but also really explains well how to use voodoo in a positive way and where it really all came from and what it means. There's so many questions out there of how to really put it all together. And this book is a very clear description of how to do that. So I am Rita Crandall, and this is VBITE, and we'll see you tomorrow night.